Jude Adams actually released This Girl, This Woman in 2016, but she's recently been taking it on the road as part of an autobiographical multimedia event, The Most Extraordinary Adventure. I don't know if she's the only singer-songwriter to launch a career as a recording artist at 57, but that, and the story behind its creation, is what makes this record a little bit different.
Nobody knows what the expression's feeling. Nobody knows what's in this. Struggling with confusion in broad daylight, reflecting on life.
Adams' extensive liner notes detail the long genesis of the album, rooted in her lifelong love of singing, which started in the bedroom of her youth, when she provided backing tracks to sadly unaware greats like Dusty Springfield, the Carpenters and the Beatles. We've all been there. But Adams couldn't shake off the sense that singing was what she wanted to do. Life, career and relationships intervened, and then came a devastating case of ME. All of this is her story to tell.
Were you aware that you were writing lyrically?
I think sometimes I was, but that was something that sort of evolved, and little things started to sort of come together as poetry, and then little tunes would come into my head, or my little musical doodles, as I call them. I have a really extensive playlist of things that were sort of songs that inspired me, and even sometimes in the smallest way for some of these songs, and then I kind of honed it down to about 10 that I called a mood board.
The color of their skin and from the way I wear my head. Open up your heart, open up your mind. Respect.
Don't Judge is pretty obvious. I think it's a song about inequality, discrimination, prejudice, and driven by some personal experience, but also obviously those experiences that are much broader that people have to struggle with.
A fleeting moment to brighten up my day. To brighten up my day.
Won an Arts Council grant for the launch and run a successful crowdfunding campaign. And we had an exhibition and transformed an amazing basement space at Creek Creative in Faversham into a nightclub. And Rosie Millard, the journalist who's chair of Hull UK City of Culture this year, interviewed me, and Sarah Jane Morris performed some of the songs. But I had to choreograph all of that and bring it all together, and Marg was just extraordinary in the support. This next song is a little bit more wistful, and on the album it's a duet with Sarah Jane Morris. It's probably one of the first songs that I wrote after I had been told I got ME, and so it's just sort of musings, really. It's a bit of a lullaby, I guess.
Sucking all the blues away, like rain slip away, close to sleeping. Want you, need you, love you, fear you, say you will.
somebody who's helped me a lot recently to promote this called it an unimagined dream, and that's exactly what it was, because if you'd have asked me...
It's a good song title.
Yeah. If you'd have asked me 3 or 4 years ago, you know, if I could, I'd have just laughed. It would have just been completely beyond the realms of possibility that I could have done this, you know.
When I start to think, baby, that's when I take a drink, baby. That's what the whiskey's for. Nothing's better than someone to hold you. Nothing's worse than being alone. Like a fire burning up with desire. Like the flames, my dreams end up as smoke.
That song is one of the hardest for me to write. Originally it was several different songs, and I really struggled to sort of work out what kind of melody or what style and things. But I really had to beaver away on that one, and it sort of evolved over a period of time. And of course on the album as well, I have to get Francis to learn this bit. There's a bit of reggae at the end as well. I'd love for it to inspire other people, especially older people, older women, to know that you can do stuff actually, even if it seems beyond the realms of possibility, as I said, because it was for me, and it happened.
It's always an inspiration to listen to somebody, you know, it's called The Most Extraordinary Adventure. So my question is, are you writing a book?
Yeah, I've got a few tales to tell that I haven't told already. So
You've expanded your sense of what might be possible and beyond, and you're still expanding.
Yeah.
This girl, this woman, is the life-affirming result of such a pile-up of influences. The fulfilment of ambition, certainly, but also a polished record which provides ample evidence that those embryonic singing efforts sprung from a genuine talent and musicality. It's a tapestry of rich experiences, pristinely produced with great sensitivity by Jeanette Mason, and it announces a voice that commands respect and attention. Further substance comes from a duet with Sarah Jane Morris, soaking all the blues away. But I'm going to end with Turn on the Moon, an intimate dreamscape.
I've absolutely dined out on the music. I have to say that I listen to your music in my studio, and I draw on it for inspiration. I find it very soothing to listen to, and increasingly I listen to the lyrics. So when I came into the exhibition and I was reading the lyrics, obviously I've been listening to them, but reading them is like reading poetry.
Come over to my place. If you wake in the night, I'll be here. Come over to my place. Show me how much you care.
I'm just so impressed actually hearing you live.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've listened to the CD. No, but really, I mean, it's as good live, if not better actually. You really feel the emotion there. So thank you.